What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about learning to ride a bike or motorcycle at 40 or later in life. I get this question a lot just in my everyday life. People see me driving or whatever, and they're like, "Oh man, what brings you to riding? You know, how long you've been riding?" I'm sure a lot of other riders can comment and agree that it's just a question we kind of get, or at least I get. Um, and it's a fair question. You know, you gauge with people who don't necessarily ride. But what's funny is I get a lot of people that ask me this question and they don't ride, or they've never ridden, or I'd say the predominant one is, oh, I used to ride a dirt bike or something when I was a kid, but now I have a wife, I have a kids, I have a family, I have a husband, whatever, and now I can't, right? I'm too old. That's a big one, right? Oh, I'm 45, I'm 48. It's too late for me. It's not too late, guys. It's not too late to learn how to ride. There's a lot of great things about riding that I want to highlight real quick. Just if you're thinking about it, go. Just do it. Nobody says you have to buy an expensive bike or this has to be your way, but pay the couple $100 for like a weekend experience and do the riders course. I strongly suggest doing the riders course for everybody, any age group, don't care. I strongly suggest doing the riding group, and you can get on. You get on the bike. They're small, they're 250 starter bikes, whatever it may be, but it'll give you a little sense of just what it's like to be on a bike. It's not as engaging or as freeing, right? Because you're focusing on the testing and stuff like that on the course, but it will spark something in you. I know when I took it a long time ago, that's what it did for me. I always had the itch to ride, much like a lot of us have been riding for a long time. We have that itch to ride, and we just kind of get on and do it. But I would say start with the rider's course, and don't let these things about your age stop you from pursuing pursuing riding. Don't think you have to be like, oh, I'm 45 and I'm not as physically fit, or my reflexes aren't as quick. There's things around all of that, all of those things, because there's so many benefits to riding. They can't be quantified, right? We're not talking about the financials because, listen, it's a hobby and it's an expensive one, or it can be an expensive one if you get to that part. It for sure does not have to be an expensive hobby. You don't have to go and get a $30,000 Harley Davidson or anything like that, like some of us, or have multiple bikes like some people. But you can get a less expensive bike, and it's gonna function the same. It's gonna function the same, and you're gonna ride, and it's gonna feel great because that feeling inside is not gonna change no matter what bike you're on. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what bike you're on. It doesn't matter if it's a cruiser or a big tour. It doesn't matter if it's a sport bike. I ride both. I ride both. I ride a sport bike and I ride my Road Glide. And I love them both because they're both entirely different feeling bikes. And they spark a little something different in me on each bike, right? But for somebody new coming in at 40 plus years old, and they're not sure, you don't have to, like I said, you don't have to jump into this big cruiser heavy bike or a sport rocket where you're crouched all the way over. There's really good in between sections where you can get, for example, if you want to go in a Harley, you can get like a Sportster for a couple, for a little bit and step that way. You get a sport touring bike, which is it's like a sport bike, but you're more seated up, and it has a much more comfortable position to sit in than a full super sport where you're crouched over real bad. So that eliminates that part, because there are options for people with say back pain or whatever. I have a terrible back. I have a terrible back, and it's been like that since I was 19 years old. But it doesn't stop me from riding, just because there's seats, there's positioning. It's finding something that fits you, right? So I wouldn't use that as an excuse to not ride it. The benefits of learning to ride are really what we're here for today. And I would say right out of the gate, the sense of freedom. The sense of freedom you get is just it's different. When you're riding on like a country road or taking a long trip, and you just have this freeing sense of like liberation, right? And it can't be matched in a car. And it's just, you got the wind in your face, the open road. It's just, there's nothing like it. And unless you're in it, it's really hard to quantify to you like what it feels like. It's just, it's peace. It's peace. I know my riders out there will kind of agree. It's peaceful. And I know people freak out. They're like, oh, people on the road are crazy. It's true. It's true. There's a lot, but that's where we come in as riders to quell that by making sure we're always in a safe spot, making sure we're finding our bubbles of protection and where we're hitting them. So riding skill comes into that, but you get that. It's just like everything else. Just like everything else. Number two for me would be your mental health and just stress. When you're behind the wheel of a car, I don't feel you get that same sort of thing, just because you could turn off so much and drive, just because it's the longest thing we've probably been doing is driving a car, as opposed to being on two wheels overall, especially up where I live, because you can't ride for some of the season because of all the snow and the cold. Some people do, not in the snow, but in the really, really cold. That's not my thing. I hate the cold, but anyway. The stress relief and the mental health that it gives is great, because it requires focus and mindfulness, and it can help you kind of clear like that daily stress, especially when you're in like these great environments, when you're driving alongside the water or the mountains, whatever you prefer, even the ocean, lakes, pond, like whatever mode that you like, whatever environment you like, rather. You go on those rides and you're out there, and it's just, you can pull over at any time because it's a small bike. You can like stop, pop off, just relax for a minute, take some pictures. It gives you a moment to enjoy life and what's around you. You don't have all these, I don't know, other little things going, because you have to be so focused on what you're doing, that it clears that daily stress out of your life. And it's great. Physically, I think it has a lot of good benefits too. I think it improves your balance, right? It improves your coordination. You have to be, learn how to maneuver the bike and hold the bike and do all of this stuff. It can improve your overall motor skills, is what I would say. You're training your brain, your body to kind of work together more efficiently, right? Which can have benefits across all areas of life, right? And when you're riding so long, you don't really think of that, because it's second nature at this point. But kind of going back and rethinking, oh man, like when I first learned how to ride, that shaking and all that, it's gone. And how that happens is just what it does for you in terms of your coordination, right? It is a form of physical exercise. I know people like, I know you could be like, oh, well, you're sitting down and riding, you're not pedaling a bike. That's true. You're not pedaling, right? So you're not exerting yourself like a mountain bike or anything like that. But for 1 second, don't doubt that when you, especially on a long ride, that you're not getting a little bit of a workout, man, in your core. If you're holding the bike and you're turning, and you're working how you should be working on that bike. Yep. It's you get a little workout in there. You definitely do. I wouldn't say it's a switch out for normal exercise or anything, but you do get a little bit. Confidence, it boosts confidence just overall. I wouldn't say necessarily like in an egotistical, right, or an arrogant way, but it boosts confidence, because to me, it's just you're learning a new skill, right? And I think anytime somebody learns a new skill, it boosts your confidence, right? And the better you get at it, you get more confident. So I don't mean you're boosting confidence like, oh yeah, I'm the man, I'm going to do all this, that, and be ridiculous. I mean in terms of just, it promotes self-accomplishment in yourself, especially when things maybe get a little hard or a little difficult. I think anything can promote that. I think learning to ride does that very well. Social circles is another way. I'm gonna try to not go too long, but social circles is another thing, depending on what kind of rider you want to be. There's a lot of just solo riders out there, and they like to ride alone, and that's fine. There's a lot of group riders out there. I can tell you that if you want to ride alone, nobody's going to force you to ride with a group. But if you want to, if you want to ride with a group, you 100% can. There's so many events. There's so many just wonderful charity events that go around. Me and my group, we did a bunch of charity events this year. We did one for the Boston Children's Hospital, children with autism, the back to school events, just amazing events that even if you are a solo rider, jump in on it. It's a great cause, and it brings the community together. And it's all types of bikes. It's sport bike, cruisers. That's another video. But just the social circle it can bring. It's not scary. It's not mean. It's not any of these things that I guess some people probably try to make it out to be, or whatever the case may be. It's more than welcoming. I've never had an issue. Never one time have I personally had an issue riding with any groups in group rides or anything like that. But it's a wonderful experience when you know you're going it's going to a good cause. Ride for Veterans is massive where I live, and it's great. It was a great ride. I think there was about 250 of us of people that went on this ride. We raised a lot of money, got a lot of money for the veterans around my area. So it's beautiful. It's a beautiful community. It's a wonderful community if you let yourself get exposed to it and you go in it. And you can make some really good friends. I know I have, and I wouldn't trade that. I wouldn't trade that for anything. And I would say the other reason for learning to ride over 40, actually, believe it or not, that social aspect I think is pretty important over 40, right? Because I think when we get to a certain age, we kind of like have our group and like that's it, and then like we stay within that group of people, and that's kind of, we don't dwell out of there, but we should, and we can, because why would we have to stop there? I know he says people got to be your best friend, but to stop engaging with other people with something that you enjoy together, this brings us together. Why separate us, right? Why separate yourself just because? And I'm an introvert, believe it or not. So getting into those environments was very hectic for me at first. I love them now. I love going. I love meeting all these new people and going on rides. And I think a lot of people would too if they gave it a chance. At 40, again, I would say challenge yourself. I think that's a big one. Learning to ride at 40 plus is challenge yourself. Don't let your age stop you from doing something you've thought of or something you've been wanting to do for so long. Just get out and do it. And I'm telling you, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. And if you don't, then you don't. But at least you could say, you know what? I tried it. It really wasn't for me. I thought it was something different. I personally don't think that would be the case. I think once you're on the bike and you're there, if you have that feeling here about riding, once you kind of feed that fire, it's gonna burn, and it's great. So challenge yourself. Don't let your age dictate what you're gonna finish with in your life. Learning to ride at 40, 45, 50, just do it. It's a wonderful, wonderful hobby. It's a wonderful experience. I want as many people coming into this as possible. And I root for all of you to try. If you guys have any questions, anything like that, please hit me up, man. Like, subscribe, please. I'm a growing channel. Sharing my thoughts and opinions and feelings on the motorcycle world and kind of how I feel about it. So please like and subscribe. If you guys have any questions, reach out to me. If you're an older rider, younger rider, you want to learn how to ride. If you're up in the New Hampshire area, I'm close, right? I'm in New Hampshire as well, New Hampshire, Mass area. So please feel free to hit me up and we'll talk, man. And we'll see where you are. If you want to learn how to ride, let's get it, man. I'm telling you, you would love it. You will love it. I cannot stress it enough. You guys will love it. So please don't let your age stop you from learning how to ride a motorcycle. Get on the bike, get on it, ride it, learn it, live it, love it. And I will talk to you all soon. Be on the lookout for my next video. Again, for the third time, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.